Hi guys, Will here from the Adelaide Heel Pain Clinic with...
Hey guys, I'm John.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about 4 tips to rehabilitate and help your very sore Achilles. So John, what are the 4 things?
Yeah, so the first one is, interesting enough, the pitch height on a shoe. Now what the pitch height is on a shoe, it's basically the relation of the back of the shoe to the front of the shoe. So what you want is actually the back of the shoe to be a little bit higher. So your foot will essentially... the back of the foot will sit just a little bit higher in comparison to the forefoot. So a good analogy is like a slippery dip. It's high at the back, but then as you slide down, it becomes quite low at the front. Now the reason why you want to do this is because by placing your foot in this position where it's facing down, the length of the Achilles tendon is a little bit less. So there's less stress placed upon the Achilles tendon and will reduce any aggravating factors to the area. Second thing is reducing your overall load. So that can be done a couple of ways. And another thing is doing too much too soon can contribute to any type of Achilles pathology. So you can do this a couple of ways. One being if you're someone who trains, say, 4 times a week, you can reduce that down to 2 or 3 times per week. Or if you're sort of adamant or a keen sort of sportsman that you need to train those 4 days, if you train, say, 60 minutes each session, you can drop that down to about 30 minutes. The idea isn't to reduce everything completely, just to reduce, the amount of times you're training per week or the amount of minutes per week.
Yeah, so I might interrupt there. So with that, you can just start to change your training as well. You don't have to run so fast, just slow down the pace. But maybe take this as an opportunity to even actually work on your technique. So what we do in this clinic is we can give you some running drills, like some marches and some high knee lifts, butt kicks, all that sort of stuff, just to improve your technique whilst you're being rehabbed for this Achilles injury, and concentrate more on your form. And you're still training, you're still improving, you're just not putting so much load through the Achilles. So
yeah, that brings us to number 3, the amount of load that goes through the Achilles. One thing we see too often is people running too much or too quick too soon. So what you want to do is take a deep breath and just drop how fast you are running. So if you're someone who runs say 10Ks and you do it at a really quick time, just reduce that a little bit. By running too quickly, what's happening is you're putting more force through your foot. By putting more force through the foot, more force is being generated through that Achilles tendon and may just aggravate symptoms. So just basically reduce the speed in which you're running at, and also reduce any uphill running. We hear it quite often that patients come in and they say that walking on an incline or running uphill aggravates symptoms. And that's purely because when you lift your foot up...
It's in the opposite position that John was saying before with the shoe.
Yeah, so instead of the shoe being down in that sort of position, when your foot gets placed in the opposing position, the length between the calf muscle to the Achilles tendon is a lot longer. So you're actually pulling on that Achilles tendon just a little bit more, and that often aggravates a bit of symptoms.
Yeah, it doesn't like it. So that's, uphill running. Actually, another thing just sprung to my mind also... we're sort of entering the summer months, and lots of people do some training barefoot on sand. So that's definitely going to stir up your Achilles, because that puts that foot in that position that John just mentioned just then.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the 4th and final thing is just incorporating a bit of a strength rehabilitation program to the Achilles tendon. The reason behind that is because the more stronger you make an Achilles tendon, the more resilient it can become. And that will enable you to go through those daily activities such as running uphill and doing other things that usually aggravate symptoms. And more importantly, it reduces the risk of re-injury by allowing your Achilles tendon to become a little bit stronger.
Yeah, so what all the research is saying now is actually do less reps with a heavier weight. Okay, so slow, heavy lifts are better for the Achilles, even though you think it might actually hurt it, it actually shouldn't. Okay, it actually makes it more resilient, as John said. And we'll go through that next week. In next week's Facebook Live, we'll actually show you that exercise. We'll also post it up on our Instagram page on Thursday. Yeah, so we'll do it on Thursday, but we'll do a Facebook Live next week of it. Okay, so if you've got any friends that you want to tag in this video who might be suffering from a sore Achilles or the back of the heel, don't hesitate to tag them. Share it to all your friends if you're in a running group, and like it. Love it. Think it's funny. Angry we don't really like, but we won't hunt you down. Okay, we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Beautiful. See ya.
Bye.